You're listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. Each week, your host, Polly Requa, interviews veterinarians and individuals in the pet industry from across the nation answering pet questions. Bark and Wag podcast is produced weekly for your enjoyment, and show notes can be found at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. That's BARKNWAG.com. Please remember to subscribe to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. Bark and Wag is dedicated to protecting our dogs through advocacy, education, and supporting like-minded dog lovers by selling custom pet products. Saving lives by selling collars, scrunchies, and swag. Please check out Bark and Wag's website, barkandwag.com. That's BARKNWAG.com to see the awesome merchandise. Bark and Wag collars and leashes, collar covers, and decorative bandanas are perfect for your pooch. For the owner of the house, we have t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, hats, and even coasters. We are expanding monthly, so be sure to check back. We love pooch ideas for podcasts and merchandise too, so send an email to polly@barkandwag.com with your suggestions.
Welcome to Bark and Wag 15-Minute Vet Talk. I'm your host, Polly Requa. Today we're talking to Kathy Kennedy, volunteer at Freedom Service Dogs. Welcome, Kathy.
Hi, Polly.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes.
I'm excited to share information about Freedom Service Dogs with you and your listeners.
That would be awesome. That was going to be my first question is, can you tell us about Freedom Service Dogs?
Freedom Service Dogs came to be in 1987 when a gentleman named Michael Roach, paramedic, was broadsided in his vehicle and became a paraplegic. And he needed a service dog, and he and his wife trained their dog Oreo to be his service dog. And they really recognized the need for service dogs in our communities these days. So it started on the premise of rescuing dogs from shelters. And that's mainly where Freedom Service Dogs does get their dogs from. We're having to branch out a little now, diversify a little with puppy donations and starting to form a puppy program. But the original idea was to save shelter dogs. They then send them to a prison program for 6 months. They help the inmates there give back and learn a skill and learn to be, excited about life again. And then they come back to Freedom. Freedom takes them with their professional trainers, trains them the rest of the way, and then matches them up with a person on their waiting list. There's 90 to 100 people on waiting lists for these dogs. So they'll match them up with somebody and custom train the rest of the needs of the person to the dog. So if the person has a balance problem, they'll teach the dog to help the person stand and keep his balance. If the person has transfer issues, the dog will help with that. They help with turning on and off lights, mobility, emptying the washing machine, the dryer. They're just, it's amazing what these dogs will do for us. And Freedom Service Dog has been working on it for 30 years now and has really fine-tuned it to a science of getting these dogs to do what they want to do for us. And it's just so heartwarming because everybody wins. The dogs are rescued. The prisoners get gratitude. They get to give back for what they've done. They get to find new meaning in their life. The puppies that go on to be service dogs, the people that receive them, their lives are changed. The people who are their friends and family don't have to worry about them as much anymore, so their lives are changed. And it's just an ongoing chain. It's like a chain reaction. Even the dogs that don't make it as a service dog, and it is hard. They do have to reach a very high criteria. Those dogs they go up for adoption, and they're so much more adoptable because of the training that they've had. And they go on to have wonderful homes. So it's just a win-win-win all around.
Well, what a wonderful organization. When they are looking for the rescue dogs, are they looking for puppies or are they looking for mid-age? Or, when they go into the prison system, how old are the dogs?
They could be anywhere from 6 months to a year, maybe even a year and a half. They do try to get them as young as they can, but when you're dealing with shelters and rescues, you have to take them as they become available. And then, they do have to pass some testing to be accepted into the program. They don't want to put all of that training into a dog that may have health issues. So, health concerns are something that Freedom Service Dogs checks in before they start doing the training. Make sure the dog's going to be there for the long road. And make sure that the dog is willing to do the work, because not all dogs want to be service dogs. Some dogs just want to be couch potatoes.
Yeah, like my lab. What and where? Okay, so where is Freedom Service Dogs located?
Freedom Service Dogs is on Dillon Street in Inglewood, here in Colorado. Okay. And they just moved to that facility about 2 years ago. It's a new facility that was about 6 years in the making. It's a beautiful facility. They would love to give you a tour anytime. Their actual address is 7193 South Dillon Court, and that is in Inglewood.
And that's in Inglewood, Denver, Colorado.
Yes, it's in the Denver metro area.
Okay. And how did you get involved in the organization?
Well, I live here in the area, and I had been previously raising for another organization, a guide dog organization out of California and Oregon, and I really found Freedom Service Dogs and loved what they offered, loved that they were local, and just really got excited about being a little more hands-on than with an organization that's a little further away. So it was such a win-win for me to be able to go there and spend time there and get to know the people and the dogs and their methods. And they are 100% positive, reinforcement training, which I love. So it's just fantastic.
And so what is the waiting list?
The waiting list to get a dog can be up to, a year, 2 years. It really, they match the dog with the people and vice versa. They'll know the people that are on the waiting list, and when they have a dog come in, they'll analyze his skills and determine, okay, will this guy be good for Paul, or is this dog good for Nancy? Who's this dog going to fit best with and meet the needs of? So it's really almost like a matchmaker. They have to match the needs with what the dog offers.
Yeah, I volunteer for Lab Rescue, and so we match the host or the foster mom and dad, whatever dog they have, with whoever's potentially interested in adopting a lab.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
you got that match for that bond.
Yeah. Well, this is just absolutely wonderful. How do the listeners get in touch with Freedom Service Dogs?
The best way to do that would be to go to their website, check out their website. It's freedomservicedogs.org, O-R-G. You can also give them a call. Their number is 303-922-6231. We have a graduation coming up if they're in the local area on December 6th. That is over at the Pace Center in Parker, Colorado. Welcome everybody to come check it out. That is what really hooked me for any program, because you see a little fur ball that you helped raise working and helping somebody, that it just warms your heart, and it's really what it's all about.
Well, that's absolutely wonderful. And I also will put the information in the show notes to let the listeners know about it.
That would be wonderful.
Because I'm sure you get a lot of requests from outside of the state as well. So thank you very much for being on the podcast, and we look forward to having you back.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much for helping us spread the word.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, www.barkandwag.com, to your friends and other pet owners. Have a pressing question for a veterinarian? Ask your question at barkandwag.com under the podcast tab. This has been a KFR production. Join us next time for another edition of Bark and Wag's 15-Minute Vet Talk.